In this video lesson, I will teach you how to make this blouse, this tank top in crochet, very easy to do here. In this case, I used sober fio do fiuane, all fiuane, which were sober. I'm going to show it here very closely so that you can see the detail of the point. It is a very easy stitch to make, yields enough yarn. Okay, look, I made it like this, a little sleeve without the sleeve, and with this detail here on the side, and here I'm going to move away. And I left it open here, to give a detail and a difference here in the piece. But if you want, as I explained in the video class, you can sew the whole thing or not make this band here that I made. It's there at your discretion. During the step-by-step, I teach you how to make you take your measurements so that it fits your size. But I also passed the amount of chains I used, amount of careers, and the measurements to make this size here. I'll turn it over here so you can visualize the back. I also made a small house with the back, but very simple to make. No decreases, nothing. It is practical, easy, yields enough yarn very quickly to make. It is then to utilize. I used Oni yarn puffs and crochet needle number 2. So let's go to the step-by-step class. To make this blouse, I will use Ann yarn, okay? It's the Ann I'm going to use, it's the 295 tex. And I decided to take advantage of all the leftover Ann yarn I have here at home. I have a lot of leftover Ann yarn, and it's even unlabeled. There are some here which ended up being very little left. And I made it like this, and will use it to make this blouse. So the only closed one I have is this one here. I have a little more of it here that was left over from a project of another piece I made. So I'm going to use the Ann thread, so everyone is Ann. This one here is the Ann glitter blue color, as I'm going to use this Annie glitter here also in green color mixed with white, okay? I'm not going to use this one. So these are the ones I'm going to use to make the piece, but they're all Ann yarn, yeah. So he suggests a 1 75 crochet needle, okay? So the tex is 295, so this color here that I'm going to use is the peach color, 4514 I'm going to use. And here Ani Brillo, these two are Ani Brillo. The blue and green don't have a label for me to pass on to you, but it's Ani too. The needle I'm going to use is the 2mm needle, okay? Because I have very tight stitch attention, so I like to always use a little bit larger than the suggested on the wool label is. So you can make this piece with one color only too. It's going to be very pretty. But I decided to take advantage of my leftovers here because they are accumulating a lot of soap opera, a lot of balls like this. Oh, yarn, so what? I want to use them to slow down a bit. You will also need measuring tape, some markers, but also if you don't have one, no problem. I'm just going to use it to learn when sewing, okay? But if you don't have it, you can use a thread of another color. It's paper clips, something little. Those wires that come to close the bread package you can also use to mark. Upholstery needle is also optional. If you don't have it, no problem, because I like to sew with my own crochet needle that I come down the piece. I already do the sewing. Most of the time I do it like this, okay? And the scissors too. And these are the materials we will use to make this piece. Remembering that you can do it in one color, it will look very beautiful. Now I will explain a little how the piece will be made. It will be made 2 rectangles, and we will leave here a small hollow for the collar front and back. I'll leave it straight. It's going to be the same size, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you how we're going to take the measurements, okay? I have 11 photos here, and I will explain here how I take the measurements to make the piece. Yeah, you're going to take 3 measurements, I always talk about it in all my videos. Maybe it will be repetitive if you have followed me for a certain time, yes, but I have to explain in all video lessons. To take the measure, you will take the measure. There are 3 measurements always: the circumference of the bust, the circumference and the circumference of the belly. And here, shoulder to shoulder, you're going to take these 3 measurements and take the largest one. Okay? Because sometimes you take it off your belly and you have a bigger bust. So the blouse is tight on your bust, so it doesn't fit. Or you have a bigger belly and take it off your bust, then it stays tight on your belly, and here and there it won't stay, it won't wear your piece properly. Maybe you have a wider shoulder, have the body like that. More triangular. Then you measure your belly or bust and it ends up being tight up here. So the ideal is to take these 3 measurements when making a blouse and always take the largest one you have. Mine's from the bust. My total measurement is 100 centimeter, 100 centimeters. And I always round it up to 100, it's a little less, okay? But I always like to make it a little wider to make it looser, and also to sew. It ends up losing a little of the width there, so you always leave a little bigger. If you want it looser than 100 centimeters, only I'm going to do part of the front and part of the back, so I'm going to split. So each piece will be 50 centimeters, okay? I'm going to have to do it here with 50 centimeters. So the width here of my piece will be 50 centimeters, okay? The length is, you will put the measuring tape right over the shoulder and will take it to where you want, the size of your piece, on top of the hip, shorter in the middle of the quilt. Then it's up to you to choose the size. So you put the measuring tape on top here. And go down here and take the length measurement. I still don't know the size of my length. I intend to make it longer, but since I'm using leftover yarn, I don't know if I'll be able to make it very long because I have to use the yarn I have here. I can't buy more because it doesn't even have the same lot anymore. It doesn't. Then it will make a difference in color. Anyway, I'll see what I can do with this thread I have, okay? Maybe I'll make it really tight here in the length at the hip. I intend to make it a little longer, passing a little over the hip line. That's my intention. Let's see if I can achieve it, and let me see what else. You will need to take the width of the cover that you want, then you put the tape measure where you want it to be. The size of your cover, for example, a little after the neck. If you want a canoe neckline, you put more here, right? You choose the size there. Normally I leave 15 to 20 centimeters here. The size of this hollow in the collar is more or less 20. From 15 to 20, I'll go this way, 20 centimeters, okay? Another measurement you need to take is the circumference of the sleeve, okay? So you're going to put the measuring tape right over your shoulder, and you're going to go around under your arm and put it here again. Or you can put it right over here from the shoulder and down to a finger two below the armpit. Mine is 10 centimeters, but since it's circumference, I leave 20 centimeters because it's front and back, okay? So the circumference of my mango cavity is 20 centimeters. So you're going to take these, then these are the measurements you need to take to make your piece. I'll leave here. Pit size suggestions. With this measurement here, if you don't want to take your measurement, there are suggestions that usually work, okay? I'll go this way. Size suggestions. Sleeve hollow for size P is 19 to 20 centimeters. For size M, 21 to 22 centimeters. And for a size G. 23 to 24 centimeters, okay? These are the suggested sizes for mango hollow here, for this measurement here, and the collar is normally 15 to 20 centimeters, which I always leave works, yes. So here will be the front, and here the back won't have a sleeve, okay? It's gonna be like this, it's a sleeveless tank top, okay? Let's see what else I pass on to you. Oh, the point, he's multiple, yes. So the point is a multiple of 6 plus 3. I'll go this way, point multiple of 6 plus 3. So you're gonna do it. Chain will measure, it will take your measurement, like in my case, I will make 50 centimeters of chain cord. Then I'll tell you if it's a multiple of 6. When he reaches this multiple of 6, I'm going to do it. I'm going to count from 6 to 6. If I don't want to do the calculation, I'll count 6 by 6 and see if it's a multiple of 6. Then I'll add 3 more chains at the end, okay? So now let's get started. I will teach you now how to make the point. The reason for this blouse I made here, my chain cord with 102 chains. Then I reached 50 centimeters. Oh, how is it? The thread is thin. It gave 102 chains, okay? So I took it and divided 102 divided by 6. It was 17. When you give a round number, it is because it is a multiple of that number. Or if you don't want to count, you count after you make your cord. You count from 6 to 6. Oh, 12, 34, 56, 12, 34, 56, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you go to the end. So I already have my multiples of 6 here, and now I put 3 more chains, okay? So it's a multiple of 6 plus 3. Let me just organize it here, and I'll show you how to get started. So here I did multiples of 3. Now I'm going to make 3 more chains, 12 and 3, and I'm going to make a high point on the 4th chain. Now 12, 34 on the 4th chain, I'm going to make a high point. And these little chains here, oh. Will you tell me what a high point I will have in my career? Total 103 points, okay? It is to increase 1. So I'm gonna have a career with 103 high points, okay? So each chain here at the base, I'm going to make a high point. So I'm going to do my whole career with high points, and then I come back. To show how I'm going to do the next career, I have come to the end, of the first career. I made 1 high point for each chain here, so I have a total of 103 high points. Now I'm going to change color because I'm going to use the colors I have. If you're not going to change color, you don't need to follow this step here. So here, oh, I don't finish this last point. Oh, I'll leave it here on the needle to make the color change. Oh, so I don't finish it, and I'm going to take the other thread and step here. Oh, I finish these with the other thread, and I can already cut this rose here, this peach. I'm not going. I'm cutting it short because I want it. See if I can make this piece very long. So here, I give the knot. Normally, I give 3 knots here to stay tight, just so I don't run the risk of falling apart while I'm even being the piece, okay? Then I'll finish. So I finished these. It is with already the blue color. I have already cut the pink, and I will start with the blue. If you don't know, you won't change color. You get here at the end, just make a little chain to gain height and come to your work, and you will make a low point in the first point here. Oh, it's these nieces here. Then I'm going to finish at the first high point. I'm going to make a low point. Oh, a low point. I make 2 chains and I'm going to jump here. Oh, 12. In the third, I will make a high point, 2 chains and a high point in the same space. This is a V point, okay? I'm going to do this here is the V point. Oh, a low point, 2 chains, I jump, and I do the V point. I'm going to make 2 chains, I'm going to jump. Base, 12 in the next one, I'm going to make a low point. I'm going to make 2 chains, I'm going to jump 12 in the next one. In the third one, I'm going to make a V point, which is a high point, 2 chains and a high point in the same space. Oh, it goes like this. I make 2 chains, I jump 12 at the third low point. So you're going to do this, these points here until the end of your career. I made the low point, I make your chains. I jump 12 on the third. Me, I do the V point, which is a high point. 2 chains, a high point in the same space. 2 chains and jump, 12 on the third, opa on the third. 12 low point, always have a low point, V point with 2 separation chains. 12 jump, 1. Two at the third point B from above. 2 point A chains. 2 jump chains. 12 on the third low. And so I'm going to do it until I reach the end of my career. Oh, I'm going down here until the end of my career and I'll be right back. Well, I'm coming to the end of my career. Oh, I made the sequence here, point V, low point, point V. I made 2 chains. And now I jump, oh, 12 in the third. What are these chains here? Oh, what I made to turn here. Oh, at the beginning, those chains here, I'm going to make a low point on the third chain there. Then I made the 2 chains there, and here I make my low point to finish. This career then, so I end career number 2 with a low point. Career number 3. I'm going to make 3 little chains and see my work. And I'll do it like this. You want to see inside? I'm going to do high points here. Oh, the puff point. Actually inside the V point. Oh. I'm going to do the high stitch. Oh, come in here. Oh, and it doesn't end the stitch. I just pull the loop and leave it like this. Oh, again. Oh, I give the loop and go again. Oh, I pull and stop here again. I give the loop, I enter the V stitch. Pull and stop. I have 3. I'm going to do a puff stitch. Okay, so I did it 3 times now. Yes, I take off all these loops that I have here. Oh, I took off everything at once. I only make 2 chains. And I'm going to do again here inside this same V, another puff stitch. Oh, the laçadinha on the needle enters here at the V point. Pull the thread, oh, and hold here on the needle. I'm going again, oh, loop. The thread enters there, I pull, and it doesn't end. And again for 3 times, oh. And I finish everything. I make 2 chains, and I'm going to do again on the same V. Oh, 3 times, oh, 12. And 3. Now, yes, I take it all off at once. If you are using a thread and I make 2 chains, if you are using a thinner thread, you can do more times here to get your beanbag stitch a little bigger. So there are 3 beanbag stitches here. I made the 2 chains. I'm going inside the next row. And I'm going to do that process again here. This career will be just that. Do the 3 beanbag points here inside the V, then here I go. Inside the alla sardegna, I enter the V lazzo fio and I don't finish. I go again, alla sardegna, I pull the thread and I don't finish. La sardegna, I pull the thread, and now yes, I take it all off at once. I took it off and make 2 chains and go again. Inside the same V, I do 12 and 3 times and take it all at once. 2 chains, I go again, I do by 3x 12 and 3. Now yes, I take it all off at once. 2 little chains after I made 3. Inside this V, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the next V, O. La sardegna, I pull and I don't finish. La sardegna, I pull and I don't finish. Pull and I don't finish O. Now, yes, I take it all off once and for all. I'll make 2 chains and go there again. So there are 3 puff points inside point V, O. Always separated by 2. Chains 12 and I go there to the next point V, O3. I take off everything at once. 2 chains, I go again, 2 and 3. I had it all at once. 2 chains and I'll go again. So you'll do it until the end of your career. 3 puff points within each point, V, okay? So I'll do it here until the end of your career. That way, when I get there at the end, I come back to show how I'm going to do the next career. So look, I've come through the whole career doing the 3-point puffs inside each time, and here at the end, I made the last one. And I'm going to make my 2 little chains. I made the last point, puff, I make the 2 little chains and finish with the high point right here. At the low point that I made to start the career from below. Here. I passed the high point, and so I finished the 3rd career is the reason for doing the 4th career. I'm going to do 3 high points. 4 high points, actually, 3 equals a high point and a separation point, okay? So there are 4 chains here that I made. They saw my work and I will make a high point between each POF and O. I made here the 4 little chains. Here O inside, here O between one people and another in this space of little chains. I'm going to make a high point, a little chain, a high point between the other people and a little chain, and between here a people and another. In this space here, I'm also going to make a high point. A little chain, always a high point, separated by a little chain, between one people and another. A little chain here, also a high point. A little chain in this space here of little chains passes a high point. A little chain between one people and another. A high point. A little chain, between a puff and another high point. A little chain in the space of chains. Here passes the high point. A little chain, and it becomes like this. The career then becomes like this. A high point. Between a puff and another, and in the space of chains. So I made here the high point, a chain. Here I make a high point, a chain, and I go to the next space. Here, between one point and another high point, a chain. And in this space here of chains, I make a high point, a chain, and I go like this until the end of my career. Between one point and another. Always in the chain spaces, I make a high point separated by a chain. Whoa, I was back here. And so I go until the end of my career. Okay, when I reach the end, I'll return. So I went through my entire career doing the high points here, separated chain. And I got here, I made the high point, the chain, and now I'm going to make a high point on the third chain here. 123, this here is the third. I go in with a needle and make a stitch AE. So I finish the fourth row. Here I'm not going to finish the point because I'm going to change the color again. So here I finish 11 reasons for the point that now I will only do high points. When I'm only going to do high points, I'm going to do it in this peach color. Then I'll change the color. If you're not going to change colors, you don't need to do it. Just skip this part here, okay? So I finish it with this other color, the dot, and I can cut this blue thread here that I won't use anymore now. So cut the blue thread here. I can take it off now. I'll tie it with the pink tip here. "63 new ones, so there's no danger of falling apart while I'm knitting. So after I finish this career, I'm going to make 3 little chains that are equivalent to a high point, 12 and 3, and I'm going to turn my work around. Now here I'm going to do only high points again, so I'm going to need 103 high points. You have to observe to make sure it works. The reason, when you proceed later, you count it there to verify if it's correct. So here, in the chain space, I'm going to create a high point on top of the high point. I make a high point in the chain space, a high point. Above the high point, a high point. Then I'll resume all the high points. Between one high point and another. I'm going to place the high point. On top of the high point, passing the high point. Let me get more wire here in the space of chains high point. And so I'm going to get to the end of my career. One high point to all in the little space, and on top of the high point in the little space, on top of the high point until the end of my career. Then you finish and count to see if you have the same amount you started down here. I have to have 103 points. Then I know I'm right. So I'm going to finish my career doing the high points, and I'll be right back. So here I came running, making a low point. It's a high point. Sorry. And here we need to do, I'll show you. So here, I'm going to make a high point here in the space of the chain, and I'm going to make a high point in the third chain. I remember that I had made 4 chains to start this career. Let me just find the little chain here. Here I make a high point. I will not finish the point. That I'm going to change color again. So here ends the blouse motif. Look how beautiful, very different, okay? Now here will be the repetition of these careers until you reach the size required for your piece. How am I doing? Colorful. I'm going to change the color again, and I'm going to take the green here now.
I'm about to switch the color, opting for a bit of green now. So I placed a piece of it here.
I'll wire it and finish the point here with him. Leave it here on the table.
All right, now I'm going to cut the pink wire, man.
Work will be full of thread here, but it is. Then I'll get everything. I'll show you how.
I'll do it.
I'll do it?
Here are the nuts and bolts.
And I will.
Here's the small chain.
So If you don't have to change the wire, you just ignore this wire changing process here. Make a chain and turn the work around. Here we will repeat career number 2.
Oh, shall we identify a significant low point?
At the first point, the chain is just to gain height at the first.
At this point, I'll create a low point, add 2 tiny chains, and jump. 12. In the third, I do the high point.
Then I'm going to do that V spot.
A high point 2, chains a high point in the same place. I make 2 chains, skip 1.
2 chains at the third point.
A deep bass note at 2.
Chains.
I leap 12 at the third point.
Point V, which is the
High point, sorry. 12 at the third point. 2 chains and 21 high points in the same area.
Duas do alto, mesmo espaço.
I'm going to repeat everything I did here.
2 chains for 12. On the third low point, add 1 more. 2 chains for 12 isn't sufficient.
At the third point, designated as point B.
High 2 chains, 1 high point in the same space, 2 chains by 12 at the third low point, 12 at the third low point. And it's going to stay that way. Oh.
How did I have it?
Created down here.
So I will follow until the end of my career following that order.
Now I do.
2 chains, I skip 2 here and perform the V point at the third.
I make 2 chains.
I jump and I'll do it, okay? Until I get there.
At the end of my career, so I'm almost at the finish line.
Career. Oh, I made the point V 2 chains.
I skip 1.
When I hit the third milestone, I made notable progress.
Corinthia, and continuing.
So I've concluded this phase of my career, essentially repeating past achievements.
Here, from Monday onwards, let's start the beanbag stitches, okay? First, I make 4 chains in 1.
23, which is what 1 is worth.
High point?
What about a separation?
So it's 4 career progressions.
And here I will.
The beanbag stitches, exactly. Inside V, released once but not completed, I attempt again and stitch twice.
Again, 3 by 3 times, then I shoot.
All at once. I'll do 2 chains and I'll make another point. Pull, looped once, loop 2.
Loop to 3.
I take everything off at once, 2 chains. And I'm going to do another stitch. Stitch, looped once, loop 2, looped.
3 shots.
All at once, 2 chains and I'll move on to the next one.
V, oh, I make 3 points.
Stitches inside?
Of each V.
In the next loop, once loop 2, loop 3, take everything 2 chains and step another. The next V.
Deixa eu só fazer de volta aqui.
And so I'll go to the end of my career, then I'll weave to the end of my career, and I'll be right back. So here, oh, I got to the end of my career making the 3 points poofs inside each time.
I made the last stitch, puff, and I make the 2 chains.
And I will.
A high point here at the low point.
To initiate my career, I engaged in actions similar to those undertaken at a low point.
A high point?
Now I'm going to do it.
4 chains totaling 12.
What does 3 and 43 signify?
A high point?
And one of separation turns the...
My profession.
Let me reiterate, this is the 4th instance in my career.
What exactly is this, all right?
So I'll make one.
High point. Oh,
Inside between one point and another here.
I intend to create a significant peak, complete a chain, and then establish another significant peak in the adjacent village, followed by another chain.
And I'm going to make one.
high point on that one.
Space here.
On a chain. A little chain. I'm going to make a high point here.
A single chain indeed.
The high point here, and also some.
I'm going to the end of my career.
All right, indeed, so am I.
I'm already repeating career number 4. I'll get to the end of it and I'll be right back.
At the end of his career, making the high points.
I made the last of one here.
People and another.
I made a little chain and now I'm going
Create my significant high point.
on top of the 3rd.
There's absolutely no chain to be found here.
I will finish this point because I will.
Changing colors?
Again,
Okay, so me.
when I finish a motif, I work on this section here in pink.
After that, I change the color again, right here. Oh, I'm going to finish in pink, so this is how I do it. Should I cut the green wire now? Let me know your status first. Then I can cut the green wire and tie it here with Rosa.
Aqui. I changed the wire, now I'm going to do 3.
Chains that are equivalent.
To a higher point, and now I'm going to rotate the project. What should I do next?
I'm going to do it, right?
A high point?
In every available space within this chain space, I do completely.
The highlight?
Right on point.
High, I make the high point.
In the chain space, is that truly all?
Repetitions are crucial. In the end, you tally to verify accuracy and always check if OV is positioned below when you proceed.
From another point.
Low is positioned below another.
Low point. Oh,
It always has to coincide like this. Oh, why?
Sometimes you can miss something.
Little thing ends here.
Getting a point.
Bass inverting is... So whenever you confirm when you're going to do a V-spot, look.
If it is below the other point, V if O.
Low point is below.
Coming from another low point, is that okay?
Thus you proceed and now you close it.
Retrieve all the points.
Initiating a new motive from this high point.
It's getting back to the high points.
I got one here already, one.
adding a bit more fabric, I'll demonstrate how the color combination turned out. Look, for what I'm doing this combination, so I'm doing 1.
Blue motif, a green motif, a little blue motif, a green motif until I reach the size I need. Then you weave this way if you want, do it.
All in one color.
Oh, so colorful it is. So I'm going to go down now the way I explained to you. So the next career here, oh, are you going to repeat career number 2? Then there's 1003's career, then number 4's career, number 5's career. Then repeat everything again, okay? Even from here, the pure repetition of these
Careers.
If you have any questions, can you turn back the video a little? See again how I did it right to be able to do this part? Yeah, so I'm going to go down now until I'm about under my arm. I'll be right back. To show how I'm going to make the decreases there so I can make the collar hollow,
Stop here.
do this little part here. Oh, this little bit of duh.
The front part is there. I'll return.
To show how I'm going to do it, so I'm going to weave until I get more or less here.
So, oh.
Under the arm. Then I'll come back to teach you how to make the decreases here, okay? I returned here and descended to the section where I will begin the collar pit. Thus, I went down 53 rows, totaling 43 centimeters. I wanted a bit longer, right? So then you do it and put it in front of you. In front of the mirror, put it in front.
From your body?
The part you're weaving goes in front of the mirror and sees more or less where you want it to go and where you want to start. Cavada is from the collar, so mine I woven for 53 rows or 12, 34, 56, 78, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 3 motifs, gave 13 repetitions of the motif. And now I'm going to start 43 centimeters long. Now I'm going to start here at
The pit area, got it?
So I didn't cut the wire here. I only switched because I'm going to start with green now. I'm going to continue my color swapping and I'm going, how are you going to do here? Will you count how many points you have? I have 1 and 3
Points.
You will have to divide the equal amount for each shoulder and the amount for the collar, more or less as much as you need. So I like to leave 15 to 20 centimeters.
Collar.
So I'm going to put it here at the beginning, up to here. Oh, 20 centimeters. Will you give it to me here? More or less. Oh, I'll count how many stitches I have.
All right, then.
I put the measuring tape here. It gave 20 centimeters. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 131, 4 to 15, 6, 7, meticulously. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. 50 and 51, 51.
Stitches.
So I do it this way and the division comes out to 51.
Points.
51 stitches equals 20 centimeters. I have a total here on my blouse of 103 stitches, so I'm going to divide that 103. Yeah. So I divide 103 by 2. Which will give me a total of 51 and a half, okay? That's my point, total divided by 2.51 and a half. I take this result and divide it by 2 again, it's going to be 25.75. Then how did it break? Because this right here is an odd number. I always leave these cracks, always inside the collar, which makes no difference outside. Yeah, I put the exact same amount, so what I did then, through this result here, so it's the first one to measure that I want 20 centimeters of collar. I counted it, I put it in the piece, it gave 51 points, 20 centimeters. I left aside this measurement, this information. I took my total points, 103, I divided by 2, which gave 51 and a half. Then I took this 51 and a half and divided by 2 again, it gave 25 and 75. So what did I do? I left 25 stitches on this side. Oh, if I count, here's the 25th O. 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 9, 20, do I 72, do I 3, And 4 and 25, I put the marker on point number 25. If I want, I can round it up. Can I put 26? because you gave the broken number here on the account, right? Can I round to 26? But I left it with 25. This here will be the size of my shoulder. It's the shoulder. This is the size I chose. Then I went over there at the other end and I counted 25, 2, 12, 34, 56, 78, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 said that it is a marker at point number 25. So I got 25 on this side and 25 on this side, and inside I got 53 points, which gave me the size I need, and I'll go this way. It'll give me about the 8 inches I need. It even gave more. Oh, it gave 22. I can even decrease it by 1 point here. I'm going to take a little sip a little smaller. I think I'm going to do that, okay? So you do it like this if you want. You can do it by eye too. It works super well. Instead of doing all your calculations, you say, oh, I want the shoulder more or less this size. Count the marks points. Go there on the other side, count the marks points, and remembering that you have to leave the same amount of marks for each shoulder, okay? Otherwise your blouse will be pie. And in here, it doesn't matter that number, even or odd, nothing here either, but as long as it's the same on the other side, okay? So here I lower my collar. I'm going to put the marker here to see how big it's gotten. Now she's 21 centimeters. If I want, I can put it again, but for now it will be exactly 20. Oh, then you do this until you find out the size of your collar. So you make a mark, put it in front of you, go in front of the mirror, see if it's okay, and keep doing this until you figure out the size well.
Exactly.
Remembering that always the two sides of the shoulder always have to have exactly the same amount of stitches inside here. It doesn't matter, okay? So I went to the front of the mirror, put it in front of me, and now it stays.
Good.
Me, or decrease the collar a little more. Oh, it was 20 centimeters, very right. Oh, 20 centimeters, very right. Oh, from this point here, 20 centimeters of collar, and I was left with 27 stitches on each side here. Oh, from the shoulder. So this here is
My shoulder?
and here too,
My other?
shoulder. Each one has 27 points, okay? Now it's going to work out super well.
Then I will.
Continue weaving with precision and care.
I'll show you.
Here for you, I'm going to begin my career here in a routine fashion, okay? Allow me to organize my thread meticulously. So here I change the thread, I will create a chain, I will turn the work around meticulously, and I will continue weaving as I was weaving methodically, adhering to the established pattern.
Point O, low point. 2 chains followed by skipping 1.
23 in the subsequent one.
It's all on my wire.
Then I keep descending. Oh, I jump 123 in the fourth, in the third. Sorry for the confusion. E.
I perform a high point and then create 2 chains at the high point.
2 chains result in making 12 on the third point.
Point.
That part of my wire is fine being lower. Count 123.
Then I will weave until I arrive.
At the point of
Marker? Then I'll come back to show you what I'm going to do, okay? Then I weave, following the detail of the stitch, until I get here on the marker. When I get to the marker, I'll come back. Here, oh, I was coming down until I arrived.
On the marker, only that.
I stopped earlier because I have 0 point, it's multiples of 6. So here it worked for me to start my career with a low point and finish with a low point. Then there are 2 missing here. Oh, and if I were to skip 2 and do it here in the next one, there would be no problem. Only I would have finished with a V point. Actually, I would have. Oh, I'd end my career with the VE point. I want to continue, start, and end with the low point. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to do it until Arcador, okay? If you want, you can pass and make it to point V, no problem. Or if you want to do herein and in the sequence AVE later.
1 point.
Low and then decrease the next time, but I prefer to do it straight away.
Not to have it, decrease I will.
Weave straight, okay? So it's gonna be pretty square like this. Then I make the nozzle to round it off. But yeah, I'll stop here. I'll leave these inside for the collar. I'm not going down, okay? I'm just going to do this here. I'm going to adapt the standard here.
From the point I'm going.
Do the sequence now here. I'm going to do 123 and 4 chains, and I'm going to turn the work around. And I'm going to work now just this side here until I reach the height I want, okay? Then I'll do it.
Here's the main point.
Typically no decrease, understood? I just interrupted my career momentarily, right?
Before O.
I'll follow the point.
Deixa eu fazer de volta.
And I will.
Sequence, which is the career, O weaving. Then I will weave like this, O, until I reach the required size. So I come here, turn around, come back here, and go back and forth until I reach the size I need for my piece. So I go weaving. This part, just this little part here, O, going back and forth, changing the thread the same way I've been doing throughout the work until I reach the size. So I'll see if I can make more careers. Okay? But then I return to show and pass on the amount of careers and centimeters I made here by car. So I'm already down. Here, the size I needed to dig.
See how?
It just stayed. So I weaved for 2 reasons. So it was 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. And then I'm going to close. So I can cut the wire and give that little nut to finish. So this side here is ready, and I'm going to start now.
To the other side here.
So I have to pay attention to a detail here too, which is the side I started. So here, oh, I started.
Oh, on the side of.
Reverse the play, okay? So here I'm going to start on the reverse side as well. I can't start from here to here because the position of the dot will be reversed. So I did here, finished, I turned the job. So I started here from here to here. So here it's going to be the other way around. It's going to be on this side that I'm going to start, okay? So I'm going to start there, okay? That's the detail here that I had to explain to you because you have to pay attention to the position.
2 points, O.
That I started from here to here, so here I'm going to have to start from here to here, okay? So always mark the side you started to start this equal side to get the position of the points equal, okay? So I'll start here. So remembering that I left to do O here on this side, then I'm going to leave here to O.
The one with the marker.
Adding another line from the marker, one more for completeness. I'll start here with this one.
Green wire, please.
I pull here, so here you tie it the way you have.
Accustomed or?
Feel, it's because I was following up there. Here I'm going to have to tie a wire. I'm going to pass it too.
I will tie it here.
What now?
Yes, I will continue.
Then I'll make one.
Chain and a low point in the same space the chain just went to.
Gain height, okay?
Can I do it now?
Or can I do it like this and leave it?
Or should I establish a lower point here? I'll create the lowest point using 2 chains.
And I follow the
Point, o pula 12 noon.
third point.
2 chains, then 2 more chains. Jump to the 12th at the 3rd lowest point.
Consequently, you weave in this manner until you reach the end of the row, turn, and continue. Growing up the same way he grew up,
Another side, is that correct?
here, oh, I was woven here, I came back just this much here. So I'm going to go down the other side when I finish. I'm going to pass the measurement here to you, this side here from
Kava, remained with.
I left it at 7 centimeters tall, alright? 7 centimeters, 2 full motifs. After weaving the other side, I shall return with the finished piece.
I'll demonstrate the upcoming steps.
So I came back here, that I finished weaving this part here of
Excavate, observe, how?
it was okay. And now after you finish yours, you're going to do another part exactly the same, which is for the back. So you're going to start with the same amount of chains that you started here. I put 102 chains, which is multiples of 6. Then I put another 3, and so I got a career of 103.
High points.
Here, to start, okay? So yeah, I did another part already, and I want to show it here for you. I already did.
This is part of the back.
Can I just extend it?
Here, and I solved it. I was going. I said I was going to do it straight, right? The part of...
Back but me.
I decided to do a little kafa, so I started with 103 points, same thing.
That?
From the front, I'm going to go side by side here so that you can visualize it very clearly.
I'm going more over here, indeed.
Thus, I have decided to create an additional hole here as well.
Returning back only and solely.
I'm going to make a smaller cavity, which is to be able to differentiate front and back, right? Then you'll do the same. A number of careers are optional. Do the neckline on the back. Okay, I decided now at the last minute, but I'm going to make it smaller here. The front part. I left 2 reasons to make a really big neckline, okay? And on the back, I'm going to make just one motif. Just one motif here of cave. It's going to be a much smaller cave. To differentiate front and back, I already started here with the blue thread. I'm right here, and I'm just going to do the same amount that I did here. It's 12 to 344 points times. Here, 123 and 4, and here also, 123 and 4, right? Then from here, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to weave the rest of the pattern, going back and forth just like I did here. That little bit, okay? But instead of me doing 2 complete motifs, I'm doing just one smaller, okay? I'm going to zoom in so you can see it really close now. So here, I made the same amount of stitches that I have here. Okay, don't forget to make the same amount of stitches. Now, what am I gonna do? I'm going from here to there. So you're going to do the same thing you did in the front, just a little bit smaller than if you want. It's okay if you do it straight, right? So here I'm going to weave normally. I get here. I make the 4 chains, turn the work around and resume here. Continuing the stitch is now the puffs part. I tighten too much, chain 1 and 2 chains, and I do the next one, puff, and so I'm going to the end. I get here, I turn back, I finish, and I do the last career there that I finished with os puntos altos, okay? So I'm going to do the same way I did the front. I'm going to do the back, this neckline. So when I finish the whole back part, that's do this neckline here. I'll come back with it ready. I won't record a video because you can do the same step by step here in front, so there's no need because the video will be very long. So as soon as I'm done, I'll come back and show you how am I going to finish all these wires here. What did I do in changing colors, okay? But if you do it straight, no problem, then you skip that part. And I'm going to start sewing and assemble the blouse that she will be almost ready. I came back here and I finished the back part doing there. It's just a reason to dig. It was much smaller than the front, and I'll show you what I did on the front. It's a finish. Here, oh, I made a finish on it by making high stitches on the side. Look how it turned out. It turned out a lot prettier. Did I hide all this leftover wire? Oh, here's these leftovers. And here, I made this a row of high stitches on the side, so I finished all the threads. And it will make it easier for me to sew because I will only have the top of the stitch to take here. Oh, to sew it will be much easier, okay? So here the front part and the back part together are, oh, the different neckline is bigger in the front, even a little behind is now I'm going to teach you how to make this part here, oh, of the high points if you made it in the same color. You don't have to do it because then you don't have any finishes to make. You don't need to do it if you also want to make it easier to sew. It can make sewing much easier because then you won't get it on the side. It's from the stitches. Oh, it won't get it on the side. You'll get it at the top of the stitch. And this makes it a lot easier when sewing. So I'm going to teach you now how to do this part here. Oh, it's on the side of the play. So I made it in the same color that I finished and that I started here. Oh, so it gave this effect. It's really cool here for the piece, so it will only be missing here. But I do it after sewing at the time of finishing this part here that was missing here at the top. When I finished, I left a very long thread, which is to use in sewing. It's in the others. I didn't leave this one here. It's just that I left it that I remembered. Sometimes I remember, I leave it when I don't remember. I cut how much later, I tie it there to sew it later, but this one I've already left, so you can choose the side. I'm going to choose to leave it on the right side up. Look at the position of the stitch. This one is right up in here. It's the inside outside of the stitch. Look what the position of the stitch looks like. This one is the inside out, so I'm going to leave it with the right up, and I'm going to do it from up here down this side. If one side I start from the top down, on the other from the bottom up, to be able to stay, it's always with the right side up, right? Yeah. I'm going to take the thread now and I'm going to tie it right here, right at the end. I'm going to hug this whole point here from the side, okay? I'm not going to insert it inside, so this whole point here on the side, I'm going to hug it, so I'm going to insert it inside. I'm going to tie the thread, so it always pulls, oh, this little point here I'm going to take advantage of to finish it off too. No, this one I made big for sewing. Wait, I got the wrong movie. Now, yes, I tie it. I give just 2 knots here, and I can start. Since I'm going to make high points if you want, you can make low points. I want to make the 21 a little wider. I'm making a high point. If you want, you can make a low point. Yeah. So here I'm going to make 3 chains. This little point here that I tied, I'll bring it here to be. To top it off, to make up there, 3 chains that go to the high point. So here you have to see that you have to, for the same amount, pay attention to the way you put it. On this side, you have to put on the other side, because as you will sew one side with the other, the stitches have to be more or less in the same position and the same amount. So if you put high on each O on each side, for example, I put 3, then I go here. Oh, I put 3 too, so you have to adapt and see how this here. Oh, it's a blue thread. I'm going to bring him up. Oh, and I'm going to finish him here. So I'm going to cut him just a little bit so he's career sized. Oh, so I can hide him and he doesn't go over there to Ross's part. So I'm going to cut a little piece. So this part is the most annoying to do, is to abuse Remax. I'm going to dismantle this point here because I'm going to learn, so I'm listening with the pink wire from there and I'm going to bring the blue one here. And I'm going to do it on top, so I'm going to finish. This part is very annoying, but it's going to be beautiful later. It's worth it. It didn't attach the blue wire. I'll try to attach it now, then I think I managed to attach it. So you go like this, 3 high points here, 3 high points. So I chose for 3 high points on each point lying there, okay? So you choose how many stitches, see how much that fits in yours. That depends on each wool of each here. I'm going to insert in, so I finished finishing off the pink and blue, so it stayed. The blue thread there, then I'll bring it here, the other one, the other pink bolter, and I'll bring the green one up here. I'll cut it for this decorating that it is. The size is quite laborious in that part. It's because I don't want to pass the needle inside, because I left it a very short thread because I had very little thread, so I left it short so it wouldn't be good if I passed it inside. So I decided to make these high points here to finish it off that way. Here I have already learned the tip, not forgetting to bring the other one here so as not to be loose there later. I've done 3, I'm going to the next one, I'm going to do 3, I'm going here to the next one, and it's like this, then the blue wire is here on the blue line, the green wire is here on the green line, and then it's well finished. Now I'm going to do the same thing, bring the blue up here and the pink down there. I see there's a little room left here. One little piece, check the size here of the career. I'll bring this pink down here and do it like this, okay? So I go to the end of the work, weaving this way. Well, now I'm going to arrest him here. So remembering, for the same amount of stitches that you put on the other side, you will put it on the same so that the quantity is not different and everything is the same. So I'm going to weave now to the end of the blouse. This way, here it is, I'll get here. When I get here, The base I'll return to show you how it turned out and teach you how to do it on the other side, right? So I'll do it here and be right back. I went, oh, my whole career, look how it turned upside down. Now I can cut the thread, I won't cut it too big, and then I'll tie it off at the end. So here I cut, and I'm going to make that little loop to tie the knot. So here, in the last one, I did 3 also right at the tip. So this side is ready now. As I started from the top down, I'm going to turn like this, backwards, and I'm going to start from the bottom up because then I have to be right up. So I'm going to start down here and I'm going to work my way up here, okay? So remember this detail of always starting one side from top to bottom, the other from bottom to top. It doesn't matter which side, okay? But one has to be up or the other down. Then I'm going to tie it here, right in the corner, which is the thread. And I do it the same way I did on the other side until I get up there. It's bad residence. Then I'll arrange the blue thread here. I'll cut a little piece. I'll bring this pink one here, which is from the tip that I tied. So when it comes to colored work, it looks very beautiful, but it takes a little work when changing colors. Unless you do it with the lead wire, then it works, okay? So here I'm going to start like I started on the other side with these 3 Florentinas and altos. I like it after counting the amount of stitches I made on each side to see if it stays the same. So I counted that part that I already did there from the front, which is ready. It gave 154, if I'm not mistaken, stitches on each side. So this one, after I finish, I'll count it to see if it gave the same amount. But if you put that even I chose for 3 in each lying point, it will work. It's going to have the same amount because they have the same amount of careers. So it's going to have the same amount of points. So you have to pay attention to that so you don't get crooked. The blouse at sewing time, okay? So I'm going to do my other side here in the same way. So if you have making it in the same color, it's optional. Doing this can do with low points. Makes it a lot easier when it comes to sewing, okay? So, like me, sometimes I do low stitch to facilitate sewing, even doing one color only. But as it is, I want to make it a little wider. So I decided to do it with high points, do it differently this time. And it's like this. I'm going to finish everything here the same way I showed I was doing it with the wires. So when I finish, I'll come back to show you how it turned out and I'll teach you how to assemble the blouse. I got up here at the end and I can already cut the wire. I'm going to do it here by hand. And the back part of the blouse is ready. Look how it turned out from here. I'm going to cut these tips right into rents. You have to be careful not to cut the stitch, okay? If you cut it too close and ask you to cut the stitch, then it comes apart. You have to be very careful. So that's it. Yeah, now I'm going to organize the sewing. I'm going to sew up the shoulder here, okay? I'll organize the piece and then come back to show you how the stitching turned out. So here I have already positioned to make the seam. I put the inside out. Here, Oh, I'm going to show you how you go upside down. Out is you go like this. Oh, I'm going to zoom in so you can visualize the position of the points here. Oh. This is the right of the piece. Look at the position of the high point. This here is the inside outside. So I'm going to leave this part here, upside down to the table and right up. I'm going to take this other part that I'm going to position the right with the right here. Oh, by the position of the points. Oh, this here is the right and this is the reverse. The reverse, I'm going to leave it up. Oh. Then it was like this. Oh, inverted. With inverted and right. With right to right, with right, inverted, with inverted. And I'm going to do the seam up here. I'll put my shoulders together. Just this part here, oh, these 25 points that I left, I'm going to join here and I'm going to join here. Only one side I left the long wire, which was this side here that I remembered to leave the longer wire. Let me find which side was this here. Oh, I remembered to leave the longer wire. I'm going to start the sewing on this side to show you. Yeah, I'm going to arrange it here so I can show the sewing. So the inside out and the wire is already here. The E is already here. On the tip, then I won't have to tie it up. I'm going to insert the needle, oh, right at the tip. In the first one, I'm going to zoom in really tight so you can see it right at the tip. And there at the tip, I'm also going to insert the needle. I'm going to take the thread and I'm going to pull. I'll sew with my own needle. Oh, I pull the thread and make a chain with the crochet needle that I've been making, and I'm inserting it here. I'll pull and I'll make the low point, okay? If you want to make a low point too, you can. I like to go low here. It's just that here is the little point lying down that I made on the side of the blouse and the knots here. So I can start here for the first point. Oh, it's getting easier. Oh, I take the 2 top stitches, pull the thread, and make the very low stitch. Here you can do it with an upholstery needle too, okay? No problem. Oh, I take the whole top of the point and the top of the point on the other side. The 2 straps, pull the string, very low point. Here you don't need to tighten too much, but you don't leave it too loose either, okay? Pull, make a very low point, enter the next point and the next, pull and make a very low point, enter the next and the next, oh, make a very low point. That stitch is pretty neat. So it goes like this, the seam on the reverse side, oh, and the right side goes like this. I'm going to finish this seam until I get here at the tip and I can cut the thread. I'm going to sew until I get here. And I'll come back to you. How did it turn out and how do I finish it here? I got here at the end, the sewing. Oh, I made the last stitch. I give that little loop here. Oh. And fit. Oh, so was the seam on the inside. I'm going to open it here. Oh, to show the right side of the seam, right? The wire was left over here and here. We'll finish this one later, okay? But this is how the seam is on the right side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come back here with the blouse. Oh, together here, these 2 parts. I'm going to tie a thread here and I'm going to sew it up. I'm going to connect those dots until I get here, okay? So I'm going to sew it. I'm going to tape it because it's the same thing on the other side, okay? As soon as I'm done, I'll get back to you with the next steps. I got here at the end. Oh, I already sewed the whole shoulder the same way I did there. I'm going to cut the thread and do it here. A little nut. So this is the seam. I already finished here, and so it was on the right side. Now you need to sew the sleeve to leave in the space of the sleeve hollow. So it's like I had spoken before. I left those measurement suggestions for size P from 19 to 20, size M from 21 to 22 centimeters, and G from 23 to 24 centimeter. Something like that I left noted at the beginning of the video. It's for you. So here you will organize and you will measure. Now after it's sewn, I'm going to grab my measuring tape and a marker to see how much I'm going to leave here. Oh, to sew. So I'm going to leave about 19 centimeters more or less. I arrange it very neatly, and this one here, 19 to 20 centimeters, I'll leave it right here. So far, oh, I'm not going to sew, that's going to be my sleeve hole, right? And then I'm going to leave an open space down here too. I'll organize it here. Oh, and I'll come back to show you how I'm going to do it from here down. So I've already organized it. I've already measured its 20 centimeters that I'm going to leave hollow. Oh, on both sides. And I put the marker holding the hollow here. Oh, 20 centimeters, so it's going to hold the 3, 4, 5 reasons, so it's easier to count like this. Oh, 12, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons, see? At the end of the do. Of reason 5, I put the marker, and the same thing I counted here. Oh, 1, 12, 3, 4, 5 at the end of it. Then I already learned from the marker. I did the same thing on this other side here. So the sleeve space is already right. And here I'm going to leave it open to, 11 space. I left 3 reasons, 123 reasons. Then I put the marker that will give you more or less 1. I'll leave the measuring tape here. 10 centimeter, which will be open 10 centimeter. And I put the marker on the other side, did the same thing. So I'm not going to sew here, so I'm going to sew in between, between one marker and another, okay. The hollow of the sleeve and the open part, so I'm just going to sew here, from this marker here up to this one here, which is the side of my blouse. I'll sew that part, okay? So I'm going to turn it over here, with the inside out, okay? It's still on the inside out side, which is the side that I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew the same way I did up here, on the shoulder, okay? I'm going to zoom in very close so you can visualize it. So it's between one marker and another only, because here is the 10 centimeter space that I'm going to leave open underneath. And here my sleeve hollow 20 centimeter is. After you have done all this marking, you can start sewing if you want. You can sew everything, no problem, no. And I like it. I thought it would be nice. It's leaving that little space open. So here, where is the marker? I'm going to insert my thread. Along with the marker, I'm going to tie it here. Then you do the sewing in the way you are accustomed to. Each one has a way to sew. I tied it. I tied the thread. I'm going to insert the thread again where I tied it. And here, at the point of the marker would be here. I'm going to take the thread. I'm going to pull the thread and make a chain. It's already attached. I'm going to the next point. I don't know if I can visualize it properly. I'm going to the next stitch here. I'm going to take the top of the stitch, the 2 straps, and I'm going to the next one. Let me see if I can get a little closer. I'll go there next time. And I'll take the top of the stitch, the 2 straps, pull the thread, and make the very low stitch. I go to the next point. I take the top of the point. And I'm on the next one. I take the top of the stitch, pull it over here and make the stitch low. So I'm going to sew from one marker to another, okay? Same thing I did there on the shoulder, not simple sewing, no secret. Do not tighten too much so as not to be wrinkled, and also do not leave too loose so as not to be open. And Cyrus takes the top of the point on this side, top of the point on the part of the other side. Pull risked here, I'll do it again, pull, wire, very low point. And so I'm going to sew until I get here. Oh, just like that. When I get here, I'll come back and show you how it turned out. I sewed from one marker to another. Look at the stitching. Now I can cut the wire here, I'll pull here, and after this thread, we finish it off at the end, okay? So this is the side of the blouse and the seam here on the outside.
You will have this detail here, on the side. If you didn't choose to make this high point or the low point here so as not to get the top of the point, you will take the side of the points, like here that I left without doing, your side will be like this. So you will take the top of the point here, right? On the side of the stitch, here on the side of the stitch, on the other side, put the motif very straight. With motif, it leaves it very straight. That will work the sewing too, okay? What's up? This side is ready. I'm going to turn over here and I'm going to do the other side. The same thing. From a marker, here from the hollow of the sleeve, this one, I'm going to sew here to here. Because these 10 centimeter underneath, I'm going to leave open. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tie the thread here and sew it up there. The other marker, so I'll sew here. When I'm done, I'll come back to show you how we're going to do the finishes.
I have finished all the sewing. I have arrived here on the other marker. I will take off now the markers. I no longer need it because it is already sewn. I'm going to take everything off and I'm going to turn the piece on the right side to show you how it turned out. So here the blouse is already sewn. Look, the side is like this. It has this detail here. And here's the open one. I'm going to do a finish up here on the collar now, okay? I'm going to start right here at the shoulder seam. I will start this finish in low points, very simple here on the collar, and the rest I'm going to leave like this. With these high points anyway, I'm not going to finish. If you didn't do anything here and just left the side, you can make a career of low points, make a pout, something like that. That's up to you, okay? Here, I'm going to leave it like this with these high points. Now I'm going to tie the thread here right at the seam. I'm going to take advantage of it and I'm going to finish all these wires that are still here from the side. I'm going to insert the needle right into the seam. I'm going to pull the thread and tie it. I'll bring these wires over here. And the blue over here. I'm going to do what I did on the side to go a wrist. Leave me alone. This one comes from the bow. If you fight again, I'll chauffeur. I'll make a little chain and I'll make a low point. And I'm making low points here. On the side I'm already bringing these wires here To finish, here you can make 23, depending on how wide your point is, 2 or 3 low points, okay? I'm going to embrace the whole first point. I'm already hiding these movies here. Oh, it's getting like this. It's here. I'll bring the green up. Look how the side is here. Oh, I've already reached the front. Oh, and the front I have a point top here. So I'm going to make a low point for each point top that I have here. Here. A low point for each point top.
I'm making a low point so far. When I get here on the side, I'm going to do it the same way I did here. Arriving here on the back is the top of the point. Oh, I'll make a point for each one. Getting here on the side, here on the back, I'm going to do the same thing I did here on the front. So I'm going to go all the way up the collar. When I get here again, I'll come back to show you how I'm going to do it here. In the end, I got here. Oh,
Where I started, right at the seam, so I'm going to cut the thread. I'm going to pull like this. Oh, I just pulled, oh, and I'm going to put it on the upholstery needle. Now I'm going to pass here, oh well, on the chain I made to start, I passed the wire here. Oh well, on the chain I made to start. And I'll come back here in the last one I made. And so it had a very beautiful finish. Oh, it put everything together very, very beautiful. And I'm going to pass this thread back now. Here, I'm going to pass it behind. And here, I'm going to pass it here inside between the seams. And it fell off the needle. With how short I'm going to pass it here with a tapestry needle. Oh, I pass it through 111 a little here, and then I can cut, and that's how I finish. I'll show you how the collar turned out after it was finished. Look at the finish of the collar with the low stitches.
now only the blouse is missing. It is ready to make the finishes of these threads here. Oh, we have a lot. We have to take the blouse and look for all these threads and do the finishing. I'm going to turn mine inside out to do this inside out finish. Here I have a thread. I'm on the inside out side, and there is a thread here that I finished the sewing. I'm going to show how I do it here
to finish with my own crochet needle. Oh, I insert it here. Oh, and I go. Pulling this thread, oh, I walk with it right inside the seam. Oh, I'm going to pass him this way from the inside until I pass him all over. When I pass it all over, if there's a little tip, something like that, I cut it off. Oh, I'll catch it all. I'll walk with this thread. And I hide it. He's once again very short. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to cut this little tip that I have left here. Oh, very close. Be careful not to cut the stitch. And here, oh, the thread is finished. I'm out of wire. I'm going to do this with all the yarns I have left over here, and I'm going to show you the finished blouse, right? I came back here with the finished blouse. It's all ready with all the finishes ready. Look how it was open down here. Look, now I'm going to take the measurements because it was long, I think so. To drink, I'll go through the tape here. She was left with a total length of 53 cm. Let me see here, it was doubled by 50, so I stretched it right here. Measure me, 50 cm wide by 53. Length, then the regatta was ready. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, and be sure to activate notifications so you know when I post a new video, and until the next video lesson.